Hi there, it's Brad Lancho from GoGold, Silver and Gold. And we are a junior, quickly, I think, moving along that climb to becoming a mid-tier, focused in Mexico, one producing mine, one incredible development exploration asset, Los Ricos, in Jalisco, Mexico, and our operating mine in Chihuahua.
Brilliant. Good to see you, Brad. I hope you're well.
I'm good. And yourself?
We're surviving. We're surviving over here, running into the weekend. Very much looking forward to it. Hey, Willie, I wanted to catch up because there's not only have there been a plethora of drill results, of relentless drill results, but you also I've noticed something about the GDX. What's happening there?
Yes, we were very fortunate to get picked up by the GDX index. And that's a pretty prestigious index in our sector, gold and silver. I believe it's only 53, 54 companies on the index. It has to do with market cap and liquidity, and you have to be a producer. So again, Peral comes through for us. You know, we're a producer. We're producing all kinds of cash there, and that puts it in a different kind of bracket than just an explorer.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty. That index is pretty important in terms of liquidity. I think people just need to understand that. Prestigious indeed, but has it actually done much for your liquidity?
It has. And I think it'll do a lot more as we move along here. Like we've really started to move up that liquidity climb. You know, we're now at least in Canadian dollars, and everything I talk about here will be in US dollars, except for our share price and amount that we trade a day. You know, we're really trading kind of that $3 to $5 million a day. And a week ago, when we get added to that index, we traded that day $60 million. But that was, the rebalancing of the index. No, we are really getting great liquidity. And that's important, not just for the retail shareholder, but for the institutional shareholder, because they know they can come in and out of a stock and they can get a big position in a company that they like.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, we spoke to you, crikey, only middle of May. Crikey. Literally just over a month ago, you were at 246 now up to 328. So something's going right. But here's the potential problem, though, for you guys. You're going to be more institutionalized, and it's going to be hard for sort of newcomers coming into this retail family office high net worth looking at you and going, well, the leverage is gone. Has it?
I don't think the leverage is gone at all. And obviously, you probably expect me to say that, but I'd like to tell you why. First of all, if you think about the district we have, Los Ricos, and I've always said that I believe this to be the best district I've had in my, plus 28-year career. There's no diminishing return here as far as our drill machines. We have 9 drill machines going. They're focused in the north. We see that as the biggest part of the system, and we're going to come out with a resource September, first kind of part of October. And that's what, and it's going to be very important, Matt, that we message this very well. I don't want any misunderstanding that I say something that is misunderstood. That resource in the north is just interim. It's just an interim resource where, hey, we said we're going to do 100,000 meters of drilling up there, a $20 million US program. By September, we will have completed that. Now, we're not stopping. We're just going to start the next 100,000 meters. The next day after we cut the data off and send it off to our third party and say, hey, tell us what this resource is, because tomorrow we're going to start working on the revision to it, which is with 9 drill rigs. So we haven't seen any diminishing return. In fact, we go to our zones like Favor and El Arito and Casados, and there's a couple new ones going to be coming on there. And we just keep on stepping out, and it's still there. It's still high grade. It's still wide. And it still is adding what we believe it's adding ounces at a rapid pace. So that's one thing. There's still lots of leverage. I do believe that Los Ricos will be validated in the statement. I think Los Ricos will become one of the most important projects in the silver space. And we're really just getting going. It's going really to surprise people how big this thing is.
So how successful are you with the hit rate with regards to the drilling? I mean, you say you're finding it, but is it every single time? Or?
Almost every single time. Like a lot of companies, they release their highlights. We release every hole. And for us to get what we call, a duster, nothing in it, is seldom or never. Like we always intercept something, and most of the time it's very, good intercepts or great intercepts. Like if you've been watching, the last kind of 5 weeks, every headline has had a kilo in it. But what's more important than that, because, I think I've said before, if we wanted to frame ourselves up to look like that narrow vein plus a kilo deposit, like some other companies, we could easily do that because we have that. But we have a big advantage. That narrower part, and not really, sometimes not that narrow. I mean, last press releases, we had 5 kilos at about a meter, but that was within 9 meters of over a kilo. So that's not really narrow. And that lived within a zone of 61 meters of 285 grams. So we have that narrow sizzle, but what really is economic, what makes it even more and more economic than a narrow vein deposit, it lives within a wider zone of good to moderate to good grade, which can be bulk mined.
Right. So
that's the advantage.
So it's about contained metal, right? I think I've heard you say that.
It is.
About the amount of contained metal in there. And the bulk component allows you, is that typically a more efficient process? I know you've got the high grade vein running through this, but how does it work?
Yeah. I mean, look, there's great narrow high grade deposits, but I've been involved in building 4 mines, and from our technical team and what we've done and the ounces we've found, we know that bulk mining is much easier. Bulk mining underground, bulk mining open pit, it's just easier engineering wise. It's easier to get to a very significant scale quickly. And at the end of the day, Matt, it's all about what is the cash? What's the cash generated from this thing? And what's the net present value of the deposit? And it's easier to add up ounces in a bulk tonnage operation, especially a bulk tonnage operation like ours, where it's good grade bulk tonnage that has great margins in a mining operation. So easy to add up ounces in resources and eventually reserves, and much easier from our experience to mine.
Okay, so you're doing a lot going up on Los Ricos North. So September, October, we're looking for a resource coming out of that. Are we looking at something comparable to Los Ricos South? Those sorts of numbers? Is that the scale?
Yeah, I think, look, the final number will come from our third party, and it's their number that they do and they give to us, and then we publish that resource, and they're the qualified person there. But I'll tell you that our technical team, we do our own calculations in-house, and I think we feel very confident saying we've already blown through that number that we published in Los Ricos North. But we'll wait for the study. I think we're targeting something. I'm not saying we're there today, but we're targeting something hopefully for that first resource in around 125 million. Now, I'll clarify that that's all categories. Like there will be a certain measured, indicate, and the inferred separate.
Right. Okay. So then how do you tackle this? Because for people new to this, you've got Los Ricos South, there's a PEA, you're spending a lot of money, a lot of drills up at Los Ricos North. There's a gap in the middle. You're going to have to work out how you come at this. So, are you going to be working towards joining those two things up? Is it two separate operations? Because at some point you're going to start in the future. You're going to start planning the infrastructure. You're going to where does the mill go? What is the most efficient way to come at both of those projects?
And those questions, we're actually working on those questions now. I mean, in the South, we're doing a lot of advanced engineering in the South. We're planning where a mill would go in the South. We look at, do you have one processing operation? Maybe it would be marginally more efficient, or more profitable. But then again, look at GoGold. Here we are a producer today, 2.4 million ounces a year, generating $2 million US of free cash flow a month. That free cash flow is drilling off Los Ricos North, and it's paying for doing our engineering feasibility work in Los Ricos South. And, for a GoGold, if we're ultimately the ones who build it, and I say if we are, because I believe this project is one that would fit very nicely in a major mining company's pipeline, but we don't control that. We control finding ounces, doing good exploration, doing good engineering, and ultimately building mines when we get there. So Los Ricos North, if that one's built, and I think in 2022, that's when we'll make a construction decision on that one. If we build that one, that brings us up to kind of over 10 million ounces a year. So we're a solid, mid-tier at that point in the silver space. And we're sitting there with this big one up in the north. And now this, I caution a little bit arm waving, but you have to understand our vision, as we look at this thing, and in the shorter term and the longer term, then Los Ricos North, could that be something that's 2 times that? Could that in the future be something that's 25, 30 million? And really that makes us a company that's very, very significant in our space, and, much, much more valuable than we are, probably many, many multiples of that. And that is, we are not dreaming. We have a great district. We're seeing that drill continue to add and add and add, and we'll probably bring in more drills, because maybe we'll do some more work back in the south, and we've started on the ground there. And we're starting to see some opportunities in the south to get going again there with drilling as well, before that mine gets built down there, and make that NPV even better down there. So
yeah. Well, it's literally going to be my next question is, do you allocate more cash, more drills down there, and to what end? Because you don't need to, because it's good now. In the case of you start the process of working towards seeing how quickly you could get that going. Could you get some cash flow going? Well, obviously not immediately, but at some point, and then do the drilling. I mean, always intrigued by how management come at these problems. It's like, are they just going to show the world they've got scale, or are they trying to make money?
I think that this district, better than any I've ever been involved in, the more you pour into this thing for exploration, the better and better it's getting, and the more and more value's added. Now, in the progression, if we are the builder, Los Ricos South is coming first. So we should not stop in Los Ricos North. That's paying big returns on every dollar into that drill bit up there, and it's not slowing down. But in Los Ricos South, now we're saying, hey, we're going to get closer to building a mining operation down there. And we believe that can get even much bigger than the 295 million NPV today at $15.50 gold and $21 silver. It can be affected a lot by a few tens of millions more ounces, because you already have the capital down there you're going to spend. So it's just extending the mine life or making it bigger. But I see a kind of a stepped approach into becoming that, really significant company in this space. And that's, I know we have investors who are here for a trade, and we have investors who are here for a longer term. And I as we move along and we get on the GDX and we get great retail shareholders and great institutional shareholders, we're able to we're getting those big institutional shareholders, because they're not there for, 6 months. They may be there for several years, and they see the potential to get that big return going forward. And also, Matt, it's also about, we've changed a lot in that I think I caution a little bit here, but we become a much safer investment than that early stage junior. And that should be factored into the investors, decisions as well.
Why do you say that? What does that mean? Tell me.
Well, what it means is that, we have a balance sheet with $73 million US in the bank account, right? We have a mine has been generating $2 million US of free cash flow a month. That's pretty much paying for everything. And we're growing ounces really, really fast. So we're not in a position where, we run out of money, or because we have cash flow, So that is risk limiting. But risk limiting, and we still have big upside is what I believe. We still have big upside in ounces in Los Ricos, a good plan to develop the company into something that's not just a mere $850 million market cap. It becomes something that could be in the billions and billions of market cap as we develop this company. I say all of that, when you're doing that, when you're developing a company like that and you have a vision, that's the team at GoGold does for the business plan, and you're doing those right things, that's also when somebody else may notice as well, and maybe they come onto the scene and they make some kind of great offer, for the company. That's everybody would like. You never know. But what we can't do, we never will do, is sit there and wait, with a for sale sign. We're building this business, and we're going to keep on generating those returns for the shareholder as we advance this project, especially in ounces. I just bring up one other thing. A lot of people, they talk about, and maybe some of your listeners will have heard of it, the Lassonde curve. And, you get an investor in, and maybe it's an earlier stage company, maybe much riskier, right? But the growth in the value of the company is that they hit it. They have the discovery drill holes. They follow up and they keep on discovering. Well, we have that happening. We've had that happening now for the last 30 plus months, right? And I've never seen a project where you could spend the amount we drilled and get the increase in the value of the company. And that I don't see that pace slowing down, especially in Los Ricos North. It's not slowing down. So, as we move along though, but we also are a company that has production, that's why we're on the GDX now, which is funding things. So we have that part of the company, and the Lassonde curve, usually the stock kind of takes a lull as, the company says, okay, now we're going to build that mine. Well, we already have that mine. It's already built, and we're having discovery. Now, the next one is Los Ricos South. That's still going to get bigger, and then we're going to be building that. But while we're building that, I don't see the company taking a lull and the stock price flattening out, because we're still going to have the biggest part of it in Los Ricos North, where we're still deploying drills and an accelerated pace, adding more ounces. Because I think that's what I have to stress. We're just getting going up in the north.
I'm trying to work out how this jigsaw puzzle gets pieced together. So you've got lots of drills, you've got lots of cash, you've got lots of contained metal in the ground. You're saying it's kind of de-risked in that sense. But when I come back to this leverage component and how you play that, okay, because it's about how you decide to play this and the message you put in the marketplace. So you've built mines before, 4 mines, great. What are you going to do? What's your preference? You've got to say the CEO thing of, if an offer comes along and it's right for shareholders, we'll take it. It makes sense, right? It makes sense for you, it makes sense for all shareholders. But wouldn't you rather build this thing?
Would we rather build it? Well, I'll say one thing, that I think if an offer came tomorrow, it's probably too soon, because there's so much value to be created over the next 12, 18 months. And I think it would be too soon. And that's because we're at that, I think, inflection point where we're going to add a whole bunch more value quickly. And then for the, long term, we're not scared of building mines here at GoGold. Like we've done it before. And when you have a project like this, it can only make you look good. And we'll go out there, and I guarantee we'll use the best engineers, and we'll use the, maybe even we'll go out there and get kind of guaranteed performance contracts, and as we build these things. But there's just so much value to be created. I haven't been in a position in my career that I've had an asset. I've had a company that's so well set up. I mean, set up in that, wow, you got cash flow, you got a strong balance sheet, you got big institutional support, and you've got this project, Los Ricos, in particular, Los Ricos North, that's growing fast. So, I think it all comes together because in a few months, I'm going to turn 60 years old. And you get to this point and you've been in your career this long and you've had success and you've had the experience of the last 28 years. And now you're fortunate enough, you have a great asset and you can draw on those experiences and say, oh, geez, I did that wrong before. I'm not going to do that again. Right. And you've got, the support of such great investors in our company. And you're able to deploy that capital with the benefit of experience for myself and a great team that we've been doing this for a long time. I think that's the right combination. So, it's not the time to retire. It's the time to get at it, and that's what we're going to do here at GoGold. So we'll see what happens. Next 18 months are going to be incredibly exciting for the company. That's what I know.
Okay, I was just going to work out if you want to go out in a high or you're just happy to, cash in at the earliest opportunity and move on.
I clearly, and I am the second largest shareholder, will do what's in the best interest of our shareholders, and as opportunities arise, and what I want to do is we're sitting on something that's great. And we're looking to make it greater, but obviously, if something comes, we'll bring it to the shareholders.
Okay.
And this is a democracy. Everybody gets to have a say when something comes.
Quite right. Now, what are some of the other things I just wanted to check out? So, in terms of again expediting that process, because maximizing value is one thing, but also making it happen quickly, not over long periods of time. Are you cracking on with the business of permits and licenses where they're needed in anticipation of what you're going to be doing?
We definitely are. Yeah, we're doing getting all our ducks in a row, and the biggest duck that you have to get in a row is social license, and we have great social license, especially in everywhere in everything we're doing, and it comes from places like Paral. Where we have such a good relationship with that community, and we have the right people. We have such a really good relationship with the communities in Los Ricos, but we're getting all our ducks in a row. Social license, permitting, engineering. You're doing engineering to get ready to get the permit, and doing it in a very sustainable way.
Well, Brad, I just wanted to catch up because we've been following the story since you were 40 cents. You're 8 times that now. You've been going about it the right way. And
going up.
Well, that's 8 times. That's what I wanted to hear today.
The opportunity was not just the 8 times. At 40 cents, the company's obviously de-risked a lot between 40 cents and here, but I believe there still can be many multiples to gain here in a nice longer term investment that yields really good returns. And I'm not talking your bank returns, right? I'm talking that we've got multiples to do here, and we're going to do it.